Hello, and welcome to another episode of Exile Plays. Bit of a different one this time. It's just a solo one. You've only got me today. So today we're playing Caverns of the Snow Witch. My name is Sam, by the way. I completely forgot to mention it at the start. Never mind. And this is a digital version of a book that came from the Fighting Fantasy series, of which I actually own the book of this as well. The nice tasteful picture on the front there is pretty much exactly the same as the cover, the book cover. So that's pretty cool that they kept that. This book was published in 1984, so it's the same age as me, which is surprising. Well, not surprising, but yeah. It's a fairly old book. I don't know when I got this book. I didn't get it when it was first published, but I've had it for quite a while. So, but no, you know, sort of coming back to a bit of the of my childhood and the games I would play. So, for those who may not know, and probably a lot of people don't know, Fighting Fantasy is kind of like, well, it's a mixture between a choose-your-own-adventure book and Dungeons and Dragons is probably the other thing it's similar to, where you have dice that you use to initiate, you initiate combat, and you use dice to determine whether you win or lose. And it's also got the choose-your-own-adventure part where you start off at page 1, and it will ask you, you come to a corridor. Do you want to turn left? Go to page 46. Do you want to go right? Turn to page 302. And there's generally only one way to get to the end of the book. Sometimes it can be quite tricky. Sometimes you actually, it was a good idea to draw a map so that when the next time you played through, you had a rough idea where you've already been and places not to go, stuff like that. So yeah, I thought this might be a good one to play. It's sort of a solo game, but yeah, we'll make a start. I apologize in advance for any funny accents or terrible voices that I do. I'll try and keep them as tame as possible. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to do 2 playthroughs. I'm going to do one where I just start at the beginning and go as far as I can before I die. And then the second one, I'm going to start at the beginning and should be able to make my way all the way through the end. Because you can actually put bookmarks in, so if you make a bad decision or you die, you can just go back to the bookmark and continue on from there again. But for the first one, I'll just see how I go. I won't read all this, but the short version, basically this is the blurb that's in the front cover of the book as well. It just says, hey, this is a book. You're the hero. Is the big thing. You are the hero. And generally, what you do is you'd roll a dice to generate some stats for yourself. I think this will do it for you, which is good. It has difficulty settings too. So what I would do, I'm going to go adventure it, because hardcore looks really hard. So yeah, I'm going to go adventure. So stamina is the first one. This is like your HP. So we'll roll, see what we get. Ooh, not an overly good roll, 15. Okay. Okay, skill. So skill is your how well you can fight. Let's hope for a good number. Oh, jeez. Wow. Okay, not doing very well. Luck is the final one. How lucky you are. You can use luck to help you out. Come on. There we go. Okay, so I got a good luck. That's all right. The rest of it might make things a bit tricky, but we'll see how we go. So I had to choose a potion. I need to take a potion of skill, a potion of strength, or a potion of fortune. So the potions, they will restore your skill, stamina, or luck to their to their original values, because you can lose points, obviously. And the fortune one will give you an extra point. I don't know, 15. I'm a little bit not sure whether to go skill or stamina. Skill just restores it. It doesn't actually add any more to it, unfortunately. I might go stamina because I don't really have a huge amount. Yeah, I'll take the strength potion. Okay, continue on. And yeah, so we get a few other bits and pieces as well. Some rations, rope, armor, a sword, that kind of thing. So we'll make a start. Alright. Page 1. Winters in northern Alancia are always cruel and bitter. The snow falls thick and the icy wind blows hard, chilling everybody to the bone. For the past few weeks you've been hired by a merchant called Big Jim's son to protect his trading caravans as they roll their way slowly north to the frozen outposts. The horse-drawn carts are laden with cloth, utensils, weapons, salted meats, spices, and tea, which are traded for furs and ivory carvings made from mammoth tusks. Big Jim is not usually worried about travelling north, as bandits only attack his caravan on the return journey. He is not alone in recognizing the value of the northern goods. On this particular trip, you are walking ahead of 6 carts across a frozen lake. In the distance, you see the snow-capped peaks of the Icefinger Mountains jutting out of low cloud. Your destination lies at the base of the mountains, where the Northmen meet to trade. Snow is falling, but not too heavily. You stop to prod the ice with your sword to make sure it can bear the weight of carts, when suddenly the shrill call of a hunting horn breaks the silence. You stand up and run back to the carts to talk to Big Jim. He is sitting next to the driver of the second cart, puffing on a long briar pipe. A huge man with a great bushy beard, Big Jim is obviously a man to be reckoned with. His bright blue eyes scan the horizon, searching for signs of life. In a deep voice he says, "Sounds like it came from the outpost. Reckon you better go and investigate. Could be trouble. And get back quick." You set off straight away towards the outpost at the base of Icefinger Mountains. You arrive 2 hours later at a scene of ugly carnage. The snow is red with blood and all the wooden huts are smashed and torn down. 6 men lie dead, their bodies slashed, their axes at their sides in the snow. Judging by the size of the footprints, the creature that attacked the outpost must have been enormous. There is nothing you can do for the unfortunate Northmen, so you head back towards Big Jim's caravan to report the news. You reach them in an hour, just as daylight is fading, and relate the terrible events that have befallen the outpost. Big Jim orders the carts to be drawn into a circle to protect his men during the night. A large fire is built into the center of the circle, and you sit down beside it to talk to Big Jim. Everybody is nervous, and a guard is posted to watch for signs of movement outside. In a low voice, Big Jim asks if you will hunt the terrible creature, for otherwise his business will be ruined forever. You smile and reply that you will track the beast, but only for a purse of 50 gold pieces. Big Jim's jaw drops open, and it takes a great deal of persuasion before he agrees to your demand. The snow finally stops falling as you settle down for the night. Sleep is a long time coming, for your mind is active with thoughts of the impending hunt. When you awake after dawn, the fire is reduced to dying embers. Wisps of smoke rise gently into the morning mist, and not a sound is to be heard. You walk over to where Big Jim is sleeping and tap him on the shoulder. He wakes with a start, and you tell him you are now setting off, and hope to be back later in the day. You wave to the guard as the snow starts to fall again, and make your way back to the outpost. So there we go. There's an introduction to what's happened and what we're up to. So we'll turn the page. By the time you reach the outpost again, the bodies are blanketed with snow and the beast's footprints are covered over. The visibility is poor as you set off towards the mountains where you hope to find the abominable killer beast. The snow on the mountainside is soft and you sink in up to your knees as you climb slowly up. You soon find yourself at the edge of a crevasse which is spanned by an ice bridge. So our options are we can either cross the crevasse using the ice bridge or walk around. Well, probably it would be easier to cross the bridge, but the bridge could break, maybe? We'll give it a try. The bridge is quite narrow and very slippery, so now we get to I have to test my luck. So what happens is now we roll against the luck, which was 11, and we got it. So we succeeded. If we are lucky, turn to 41. You tread carefully across the bridge, safely across the crevasse. You continue your slow trek through the snow. 212. Using your sword, you cut hand and toe holds into the side of the crevasse and haul yourself up. The wind starts to howl, blowing gusts of snow into your face. You put your head down and stride into it. Above the howl of the wind, you suddenly become aware of another sound, the howling of wolves. You draw your sword while trying to peer through the snow. The wolves are coming. As if out of nowhere, 2 snow wolves appear in front of you, hunched ready to pounce. They are completely white except for their blood-red eyes. There's a nice artist drawing there. Actually, the cool thing about this as well is you can see... Maybe not. Yes, actually, if I go to options and I flick this, like you can actually see what the original book used to look like. So this is what it looks like in the book. And I'm going to turn to my book to just check the same. 212. 212. Yes, yep, exactly the same. So I thought that was pretty cool. They can use both, but we'll put it back to the newer looking one. So that looks a lot nicer. And as you can see up here, you see where you can put your bookmarks. But we won't do that on this one. We'll do it on the next round. Okay, so 2 snow wolves have attacked me, so I have to fight them. So this is where the fighting comes in. So what happens is we both roll against our skill points, and whoever has the most wins. So unfortunately they do, so I lose 2 stamina. Try again. No, didn't win that one either. I get the feeling this might be a short to run. Oh no. Now I can use my luck to avoid some damage. Oh man, I'm not doing very well at all. I'll give it one more, and if I don't start getting somewhere, I got one. Okay, that's good. So I managed to take them down a bit. Okay, got him again. The only thing is, I think there's another wolf after. Oh, jeez. Okay. I'm gonna test my luck because I need to shoot. That's even worse because I take more damage because I failed. Oh no. Okay, I got that one. So I take 1 less damage, but still. Alright, won that one. That's a draw, so we both miss. No, didn't get that one. Oh wow, I am not doing very well at all. Oh man, this is terrible. I'm dead already. If you are defeated, I'm dead! I succumbed to my quest to find the crystal caves and locate the treasure of the Snow Witch. Awesome! That's exactly what I wanted. Alright, I will try again, because that was very short. That's the problem. If you roll low on skill, it makes it very difficult sometimes to actually win that sort of... I wish, yeah, I hoped I would have cut a higher one. So, we'll try that again. Okay, so we'll run through all this again. Hardcore. Yeah, okay, so if you do hardcore mode, your skill is one roll of a 6 with a 4. Oh, I see. So you can use bookmarks no matter what. That's pretty cool. We'll go adventure again. Alright, let's see if I get... Oh, nice! 24! Okay. Can I do well in skill too? Come on... 3? It's not... That's better. Let's see how I go with luck. Knowing me. Oh, that's not... Okay, so that's a bit better. A bit more all-rounded this time. Especially that high stamina. That's going to be very useful. Awesome. Well, I don't need... I think I'd be good without stamina. I might go with luck this time. A potion of fortune so I can restore my luck points. Apologies for the car. I live beside a main road, so There's the odd car. Shouldn't be at this time of night, but never mind. Okay, cool. Alright, well, let's try it again. We've been through this, you know, old Big Jim son. Okay, so we're heading out again. Do I want to fight the wolves? Yes, I've got a grudge against those wolves. Alright, let's test our luck. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Yep, through the snow. Alright, the wolves again. Come on, wolves, let's do it. Alright, let's hopefully this time we'll do a bit better. Alright. I say that. There we go. Nope. Come on. Yep, that's a better roll. Wonderful. No, didn't win that one. Got that one. Okay. Yep, got that one. Okay, so one wolf is dead, one more to go. Yep, looking good. Okay. That should give me a win as well. Yes. Ooh, this one's gonna be close, but I just won. And no, they've got me on that one. And that one. Jeez. No, wow. This last one more roll is all I need. There we go, double six. Wonderful, I won. Okay, so I did win. You step past the still bodies of the wolves and continue your journey through the swirling snow. The climb becomes steeper and the going is slow. Now, I think I can use, if I go to my adventure sheet, I have provisions, so I can actually eat some provisions to get myself back up to full. Let's see, and I also get some info. I've got the sword, you know, just general stuff. Cool. Alright, the snow is beginning to fall very heavily, swirling around in the strong wind. A blizzard is starting. Now, do I want to use my sword to dig a shelter in the snow, or do I want to press on? Blizzards are probably not a very good thing to have, so I might dig a shelter. You hurriedly cut blocks of ice out of the mountainside and build a makeshift igloo. You crawl into it as the blizzard blows down the mountain with ferocious power. Your body heat is retained inside the igloo and you keep warm. However, you must eat 2 portions of your provisions to regain your strength after the tiring walk and the effort of building the igloo. I don't get any stamina for that. An hour later, the blizzard dies down and you crawl out of your shelter to continue your quest. 169. Underneath an overhanging rock, you see a small wooden hut built into the side of the mountain. Its roof is piled high with snow and long icicles hang down from the window ledges. You see a set of deep footprints leading from the hut up the side of the mountain. Do I want to go in the hut, or do I want to follow the footprints? I'm going to go in the hut, because there might be something in there. The front door of the hut is frozen shut, and you have to batter it with your shoulder to open it. There is only one room inside the hut containing the belongings of a fur trapper. Traps, furs, and sacks are stored in the corner of the room. A wooden bed, a table and chair, and some cooking utensils show sign of recent use, and the ashes in the fire are still warm. If you wish to put some logs on the fire and warm up the cold stew in one of the pans, turn to 118, or if I want to continue with my quest, 192. Stew sounds good, actually. Let's go have some stew. The fire is soon roaring and crackling in the hearth. The heat of the flames radiates through your body and you revel in the warmth. The stew is delicious and you feel your strength returning. I should have waited. I got an extra 3 stamina points. With renewed energy, you decide to leave the hut to continue your quest. 192. As you're about to leave the hut, you catch sight of some weapons lying under the bed. If you wish to take a couple of them with you, go to 255. If you do not wish to be encumbered by the extra weight and would rather leave without the weapons, turn to 263. Weapons are always good. I take a warhammer and a spear. Awesome. 263. So that should be in my book now. Weapons, sword, spear, warhammer. Outside again in the deep snow, you set off on your trek up the mountainside, following the footprints in the snow. The high altitude and thin atmosphere make you pant for breath as you continue your steady climb. I lose 1 stamina point. Well, I'm still alive, so that's good. Suddenly you hear the cry of a human voice, followed by a ferocious roar. Not far ahead you see a fur trapper fighting for his life against a gigantic bear-like beast with long white fur and sharp teeth protruding from its jaws. It is the killer beast you've been hunting, the abominable Yeti. You watch the unfortunate trapper being gashed by the Yeti's claws and falling face down in the snow. Incensed by the vicious attack, you scream at the Yeti and run through the snow to attack it. Are you carrying a spear? I do happen to be carrying a spear. Carefully, you heft the spear in your hand, aiming at the Yeti. If you have frostbite in your sword arm, well, we don't have that. I'm assuming that's what happens if you didn't build a shelter for the blizzard. But I don't, so I can turn to 249. Gripping the shafts tightly, you pull back your arm and hurl the spear at the snarling Yeti. Roll a dice. I rolled a 3. So if I rolled a 1, I'm assuming that's a miss, but since I've rolled a 2 or more... The spear flies through the air and thuds into the Yeti's shaggy chest. It roars in pain but does not fall. You quickly draw your sword to fight the enraged beast. So I've already done some damage, which is good. Oh, I see. Ooh, 10 skill. Alright. He's going to win that one. I will win this one. That's a win for him. One for him. Or one for me. That's one for him. Or it. No, one for it again. This isn't going very well at all. Oh no. Okay, that's one for me. I just need 2 more. Yep, it's another one for me. One more. Come on. Come on. Yes, I got him. He's dead. Wonderful. He has died. You kneel down beside the fur trapper and turn him over slowly. His eyes are barely open and blood trickles down from the corner of his mouth. The Yeti has gouged deep wounds in his chest and you realize there is no hope of saving him. Oh. With a great effort he reaches up and grabs you around the neck, pulling you down so you can hear his dying words. He thanks you for trying to save him and insists on telling you his secret. In terrible pain, he struggles to whisper his story. He tells you he has lived in the mountains for most of his life, hunting animals and trading their furs, but for the last 5 years he has been searching for the legendary Crystal Caves. These caves have been cut out of a glacier by the followers of the Snow Witch, a beautiful yet evil sorceress who is trying to use her dark powers to bring on an ice age so she can rule supreme over the whole world. The entrance to the Crystal Caves is high up on this very mountain. It is open, but hidden by an illusion. The unfortunate fur trapper found it by accident only yesterday when he saw one of the Snow Witch's warriors seemingly walk straight through an ice wall and disappear. The trapper left a piece of fur hanging over the entrance so he could find it again the next day. Sadly, the Yeti has put an end to his hopes. He asks you to enter the caves to slay the vile Snow Witch and leave her followers without their leader. There are legends about great treasures being frozen into the wall of the Snow Witch's lair, which would provide ample reward. The fur trapper suddenly grips you hard and then falls back silently into the snow. He's dead. You cover him with snow before deciding what to do. 50 gold pieces await if you return with evidence of the Yeti's death to Big Jim's son. But the thought of a quest through the Crystal Caves beneath Icefinger Mountains excites you, and you decide to set off to find them. So we're heading to the caves. Now that the snow has stopped falling, the sky is clear and blue. Excuse me, I just have a drink. The air is cold and crisp, and the snow crunches beneath your feet. Slowly you make your way up the mountainside, looking for the cave entrance marker left by the fur trapper. Suddenly you hear distant rumbling from above, the terrifying sound of an avalanche. I'll test my luck. Oh, that's not good. I am unlucky. You look up and see great cascades of snow tumbling down the mountainside. With horror, you realize that you are standing in the path of an avalanche. You look around and see an outcrop under which you could shelter. The approaching mass of snow is no more than 100 meters away, and you struggle to run for cover. So now I have to try and roll against my skill, which I did. You dive under the outcrop as the snow crashes all around, pressing yourself as close as you can against the ice-covered walls of your shelter. You wait until the avalanche has passed by. With a sigh of relief, you set off again in search of the Crystal Caves. 363. You make your way slowly up the mountain until you reach a rock face that is too steep to climb. You walk around the side until you see a massive wall of ice, which completely blocks a gully between two peaks of the mountain, the glacier. Your heart leaps as you catch sight of the piece of fur left hanging on the wall of ice by the trapper. Although you cannot see the entrance, you walk straight ahead. You shut your eyes as you think you are about to walk into the wall of ice, but you walk straight through the illusion and find yourself into a long tunnel carved into the ice. You walk down it and soon arrive at a T-junction. Do I wish to turn left or do I wish to turn right? I'm going to go right. The tunnel opens out into a small cavern which is empty apart from a brass bowl resting on top of an ice plinth. The bowl contains a yellow liquid and a wooden ladle. If you wish to drink some of it, turn to 24. If I'd rather walk back out of the cavern without drinking, turn to 56. I don't know whether I want to drink a random thing that I've seen, but it's got a ladle next to it, so it would make sense that you could drink it. The liquid sends a glow through your body and you feel wonderfully warm. You've swallowed a potion made by the Snow Witch that keeps her followers from feeling the cold. You gain 3 stamina points. This potion also cures frostbite. Any skill points that you may have lost because of frostbite are now restored. With renewed vigor, you walk back out of the cavern. Oh, look at that. That's very helpful. You walk past the entrance tunnel on your left and continue down the main tunnel. The tunnel bends around to the right. As you turn the corner, you almost bump into a tall, pale-skinned humanoid coming the other way. He is wearing a white cloak with a hood pulled over his head. He is a mountain elf, one of the Snow Witch's followers. Will I walk past him? Tell him I've come to join the Snow Witch's followers, or attack him? I'm trying to infiltrate him, I suppose. The mountain elf looks at you in disbelief and says, Nobody of good heart would wish to join the Snow Witch. I am only here because of this. Throwing back the hood, he's missing a there and there, the elf reveals a metal collar around his neck, which glows in the semi-darkness. Only the obedience collar makes me serve her, he continues in a dour voice. If you wish to reiterate your desire to join the Snow Witch, go to 22. If you'd rather change the story and tell the elf that you intend to slay her, turn to 264. I like this cool dragon. I don't know if you should fight a dragon, but I think he looks pretty cool. What does it look like in the original, I wonder? Oh, very similar. They just coloured him blue. I'm going to tell him I will slay her. The mountain elf looks at you and smiles. Now you're talking, he says. Kill her and free us. Here, take my cloak to disguise yourself and follow this tunnel until it branches. Take the right-hand fork. Good luck. You shake the elf's hand and run down the tunnel. Turn to 136. You soon arrive at the fork in the tunnel that the mountain elf mentioned, and deciding to take his advice, you enter the tunnel to your right. Turn to 106. Further ahead, in the left-hand wall of the tunnel, you see a gap. You walk up to it and peer around to see a cave in which a Neanderthal is stripping the skin off a moose, making it ready for the large simmering stew pot behind him. He is working very slowly and is being yelled at by the gnome cook, who is wearing a white apron and waving a wooden spoon in the air. If I wish to enter the crude kitchen, turn to 95. If I'd rather creep past, to 67. I might go in, see what's going on. The gnome runs up to you and shouts, Get out! Dinner will not be ready for another 2 hours. You will hear the bell. Mind you, you look a little worse for wear, so you can have the stale cake if you wish. The gnome points to a piece of cake lying on the table. If I want to take the cake and leave, turn to 290. If I'd rather attack them, turn to 187. Probably not a good idea to attack them. He's offered me some cake. Is it a lie? You leave the cave and turn left, back into the tunnel, eating the cake as you go. It is stale and virtually tasteless, but you gain a little energy. I got 1 stamina point. How many stamina points am I on at the moment? I'm on 15. I might eat a couple of provisions. There we go. Much better. So it's not a lie, but it's not a very tasty one. In the distance you hear chanting voices. Before long the tunnel ends at an entrance to a large cavern. Kneeling down before an ice effigy in the shape of a demon, their hooded faces pressed to the ice floor in worship, are 10 of the Snow Witch's followers. There are 2 X's from the cave, one to your left and one to your right. If I'm wearing a cloak, turn to 384. You pull down the hood of your cloak as far as possible and walk towards the tunnel exit on your right. Oh, come on. Oh, shit. That's no good. You're almost at the entrance to the tunnels when the worshippers stop their chanting. They stand up and one of them calls out to you, asking why you did not stop to sing the praises of the Frozen One. If you have a magic flute, you can tell them they've been ordered to go and play it for the Snow Witch. Well, I can't do that. Otherwise you may either fight them or try to run down the tunnel. Well, if there's like 10 of them, I don't really want to fight them, so I'm trying to run. The followers are a group of goblins, orcs, and Neanderthals. As you make a run for it, the 2 creatures who are nearest try to stop you. One cracks his whip, trying to wrap it around your legs, while the other aims a dart at you. Ugh. Come on, give me a good roll for a change. Oh, that's good. Phew. Both the dart and the whip fail to find their mark, and you're able to run through the tunnel. Turn to 137. Now I think this is using up my luck, isn't it? 6 of 10. At this point I probably want to use my potion, because once I hit below 6 it's quite difficult, so I'll drink my potion, and it gives me an extra point, so that's also good. The tunnel ends quite soon at a T-junction. To your left you can hear cries for help. If I wish to turn left, go to 311. If I wish to turn right, 125. I'll go and see what's causing all the problems. The tunnel ends at the edge of a pit, out of which a dwarf is trying to climb, but he keeps on slipping back. The floor of the pit is covered with large ice boulders which have crashed down from a shaft above the pit. One lands on the dwarf's shoulders, and you hear wild cheers from the top of the shaft as he tumbles to the floor. The dwarf sees you and shouts, "Curse you, stranger, if you do not aid me! I see you are not wearing a collar." If I wish to help the dwarf, I can turn to 376, or if I want to ignore him, I can turn to 57. I'll help the dwarf out, because that sounds like a nice thing to do. You lie down and lean over the edge of the pit and tell the dwarf to grab your arm. Much to the annoyance of the spectators above, the dwarf escapes from the pit. You run together back to the junction where the dwarf turns right. You tell the dwarf that you intend to carry straight on to find the Snow Witch, as turning right will lead you back to the Hall of Worship. The dwarf tells you that he must escape quickly and return to his village now that he is free. He thanks you for helping him and hands you a leather bag, then runs off, but before he disappears he turns and shouts, "Beware the white rat!" You open the leather bag and find a sling and 3 iron balls. You pack them away and set off down the tunnel. The tunnel through the glacier soon leads into the mountainside itself, and the walls change from ice to bare rock. You enter a large cavern which has 3 other exits leading to it, one to your left, one to your right, and the main one carved as a giant skull lying directly opposite. As you enter, an ugly robed man steps out of the mouth of the skull holding a glass prism in his outstretched hands. He commands you to turn back, as only the Snow Witch's personal servants are allowed outside the mountain. If you have a magic flute, don't have a magic flute, or I have to attack him. Okay. The ugly man sneers as you draw your sword. He rubs the prism, and suddenly 3 identical images of himself appear. They walk towards you. Each one has a dagger raised in his right hand. 2 of the images must be illusions, but which one will you strike with your sword? Do I attack the one on the left, the one in the middle, or the one on the right? Well, right has helped me so far, so I'm going to go right. Oh, nice. I got an achievement. The illusionist screams in pain as your sword cuts into his side. He drops to the floor as his other 2 images fade away. As you step over him, he starts to laugh and stands up, his wound completely healed. If you wish to thrust your sword at him again, go to 261 if I want to try to smash his prism. It looks like a thing of power, so I'm going to try and break his prism. You pretend to give up the fight and then suddenly leap at the illusionist. Catching him momentarily off guard, you manage to snatch the prism out of his hands and throw it onto the floor. It shatters into the tiny pieces, and the illusionist turns and flees into the skull mouth, screaming at the top of his voice. Smoke rises from the shattered fragments of the prism and forms itself into the shape of a bald fat man, a genie. Hovering in midair, he bows and thanks you for releasing him. He tells you that if you call on him, he will make you invisible just once as a token of his gratitude. Without saying another word, the image shimmers and disappears. You now have to decide which way to head. So we'll either go left, right, or into the skull. I'm going to go left, I think. As soon as you step into the tunnel, an iron grill drops down behind you, barring your retreat. It is impossible to lift, and there is nothing you can do but find out what lies at the end of the tunnel. Okay. You soon arrive at an iron door, which blocks your way forward. Beyond the iron door, a tunnel turns to the right. Apparently you need a key, but I don't have a key, so I'll go to 393. You are trapped inside the mountain tunnels. You know that it will not be long before the Snow Witch's guards discover you and condemn you to a life as slave. You have failed in your mission. And so there's one of the bullshit endings. I actually remember now, this book had a couple of bullshit endings. It was like, oh, you don't have the item? Well, sorry. Game over. I'm just going to check 393 as well. Yep, same thing. Oh, that's so miserable. Oh well. Well, there we go. So, unfortunately, I didn't make it on that one. I didn't do too bad. I did better than the first time anyway, so that's always good. What I'll do is I will stop for now, but I'll have another go at this, and what we'll do is we'll use bookmarks next time so that, so in the previous case, I could have gone back to where I had to pick from the 3 entrances, and I could have picked a different one and gone through the correct one, well, a correct one, and not been trapped. So yeah, that's cool. Alrighty, thanks for watching. As I said, I'll play this again, and we'll try and, we will beat it next time. Now that I've got a pretty good idea of which way to go to get to this, but we might try a few different options as well, just to see some of the other stuff in the story. Generally, there's a few options at the start, and they all sort of lead together to a final couple at the end. That's the way these books go. So yeah, I'll also put a link in the description on where you can buy this. I got it off Steam. I think it was, from memory, it was 10 New Zealand dollars, I know, but whatever your local currency is, it'll be that. But I'll put it in the description in case you want to have a go. It's very, as I said, it brings back a lot of childhood memories, because these are books that I used to play quite a bit. I've got about half a dozen that I own, but I used to borrow them from the library, from friends, various other people, and yeah, they were very good. It was an RPG before console RPGs were really a big thing. It kept things interesting, so. Yeah, so thanks for watching. What else? Let's see. If you want to subscribe, that would be very good. As I said, there's some more of these videos coming. I'm actually going to do this after I've beaten this. I'm going to play it again, but have someone else play it. So I'll be helping them out. Well, not helping them out. They'll play the game, and I'll offer tips and suggestions, I suppose. So that'll be fun. But yeah, once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.